Lise, let's move on now to Melbourne, where the Herald Sun is splashing tomorrow with Ariane Titmus making headlines. Make it fair, she says. The Olympic champion has called on world water sports chiefs to be fair when developing rules on inclusion. It comes as news that transgender athlete Leah Thomas has flagged her intention to try out for the US team, potentially the 2024 rival. Titmus has said, "I hope that FINA come up with the rules that make it fair and enjoyable for everyone." Fellow stars such as Emma McKeon and Mac Horton have echoed the call. Lisa, I kind of enjoy the fact that these athletes, because we rarely see it in other codes such as football or rugby league, they kind of come out and make these, really bold statements. So you have to commend someone like Ariane, who would potentially be looking at holding on to some very lucrative sponsors and also trying to keep the Olympic Committee happy. But good on her for coming out on the front foot on this.
Yeah, but she's also facing down the fact that Thomas wants to trial in the 200 and the 400. So potentially, if it all played out as Thomas would like it to, then Titmus could be competing against Thomas. So she has real skin in the game when it comes to making this an issue. And look, I think she's being very, very clever and very careful with her language in saying that she wants it to be fair because it is a hot issue. But you've got Caitlyn Jenner coming out and saying, look, there should not be this situation where you have women or girls having to compete against transgender athletes. The World Coaching Association came out last month and said they would like to see a separate category for transgender athletes. So this has only just begun. It blew up here during the federal election, but you're right. It's great to see the swimmers coming out and having a say, but they are being very careful. But they have a lot on the line if they end up competing against someone who is biologically more equipped to beat them.
Yeah. Caleb, what was the sense around the newsroom today when you were deciding on the front page? It's a pretty big statement putting it on the front, of which a number of the News Corp tabloids have done. What was the feeling like? Because I feel that this is such a lightning rod issue at this point in time.
Yeah, but I think Australians fundamentally believe in the principle of fairness. And this is very much a fairness issue. And I think when you're talking about Middle Australia, and that's who we write for and who we represent at the Herald Sun, I think it's an issue that normal Middle Australians look at and go, well, if my kid aspires to participate in professional sport or club sport or district sport or whatever it might be, they should be able to do it on a level playing field. And if you have people coming in who obviously, were born male and have had testosterone coursing through their bodies for most of their lives and have built up muscle mass and, male-style bodies, and they're going on to compete with their girls, it would worry parents. So I think it's one of those issues that, as you say, it's a lightning rod, but it is fundamentally an issue of fairness that people look at and go, well, is this really what we want? Because at the moment we're talking about professional sport, but it does become about school sport, and it becomes about club sport and district sport. It doesn't just end with the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics. And so it is one of those debates that, as much as a lot of people wouldn't like us to have it, the trans activists, would seemingly prefer that they'd be able to do whatever the hell they like. It is the debate we must have.
Yeah, who would have thought? It started in Warringah and we're ending up in places like Birmingham. It's just a crazy time, isn't it?